Are Knights Templar still viable with fishing? Welcome back to the channel, folks. That's the question we're here to answer. In the grand finals, Anatan is trying to prove that Knights Templar are still a desirable civ. And well, he is going to be up against an aggressive civ to try and prove it. Louis MT with the Mongols, a civ that has looked pretty good on this map. If you guys remember, a bit of a blast from the past. It's been a while. We are on Relic River for game number 2. And I focused on this area because of the fishing. This is normally what we're thinking about with both of these civs. Knights Templar look good when they can fish was the idea. However, recent changes may have spun a different tale because Knights Templar received noteworthy nerfs towards their fishing capabilities in early game. Their docks are odd. They are more expensive docks, and the wood gathering in the Dark Age worse than it has been in the past. Yeah, look at this. This is the new harbor. 250 wood instead of 150. It has a few things about it. It's got more health, more fire armor, but it costs 100 wood more. The only other thing you get is in Age 2, you can build springwood emplacements in it for water only, which I've not seen used yet. I could imagine how powerful they would be, but I'm not convinced that Knights Templar is going to be a great water civ. But I'd love to be proven wrong. Louis. With Mongols. Mongols received basically... Did they receive any changes? I'm trying to remember now off the top of my head. I feel like Mongols... There was probably something small that I've forgotten about. But the majority of it, no. There was nothing crazy from what I can remember. In fact, if we have a look... I find the patch. Oh, White Stupor. That's right. They changed the way White Stupor works. But I don't feel like that's fundamentally going to change much about them to be a negative Nelly. I don't feel like that change necessarily will alter the behavior of Mongol players for quite some time. If at all. Let's have a look. I'm even just double checking. So Mongol specifically, because it was, yeah, White Stupor now decreases the stone cost of units double production. I think the only time that's going to matter is if you're playing like a long castle and you're 100 plus workers, then you'll consider it over the Cargonet. But then outside that, they improved the improved techs. You remember all those different techs you get as Mongols with the Gur? They've made them actually decent now. So for example, like here, horticulture improved. You know, normally you get the 10% increase. Now it's going to increase you by 30%, which is pretty nuts, but the trade-off is it will cost you 500 stone to get this tech. Yeah, I think that's like the area where we might see the biggest change, but to me, I kind of envision that similarly to how Macedonians function. You know when Macedonians make a unit choice and they invest in it, they're hard committed? I think you're going to see that for Mongols where like when they make a resource investment choice, they're now hard committed. Like if I'm going to get Broad Axe, I'm probably going to start spamming a lot of archers and then pastures as well. And yes, Knights Hospitaller coming through. This has been growing in popularity for quite some time, actually. I think the French Commandery, I don't want to say it's dead, but it's definitely not the dominant for pro-level play. Most people enjoy Hospitaller because of the safety of your workers. It gives increased movement speed as well as health on your villagers, which just makes you more efficient and harder to shut down. And then, occasionally, a game comes along where you can actually use the unique men-at-arms unit. I don't think we'll see that here. I think against Mongol Keshiks, that's pretty bad. I know. Wait, is this our recovery arc for Knights Templar to return to how it began? It's 2 TC. Against Mongols as well. Then again, Louis, he's played out on the deer. He hasn't opened up with any units yet. And he's going archers anyway, so plenty of time to set this up. And a good spawn for it as well. Gets the back deer behind the base and locks it in. His Ford Gold is going to be blocked out entirely, though. But he does also secure some small tree lines. And the other interesting thing about this town center placement is it blocks full rotations around your base. I think what Anno's probably going to want to do around 8-9 minutes, if he gets a bit of breathing space, is just try to walk to this north side. So you have a full corner safe to expand into with farms and additional wood gathering. All right, what were predictions like? 63% on an Anatan win. I wonder how many people would refund if they could see it's 2TC. I mean, we have to keep in mind we've just had a very dominant pro scouts meta. So the idea of like 2 town centers hasn't exactly been popular for some time now, with some very rare exceptions. Magadai opening from Louis. Even bring the Deer Stone up, so yeah, it makes sense against 2 TC. Your opponent doesn't have any defense right now. So he's going to have to work pretty hard to start getting an Archer Mass online, especially considering the primary tree line is getting blocked. Yeah, Anno doesn't have much wood if he tries to just make mass archers here. It's baby tree lines. And correct idea, but unfortunately for Anno, he didn't get this up. I mean, it's not going to be a quick kill, but if this opens up, like, you understand why Louis target this area. It just blocks both these tree lines. And then at that point, Anno's only option is to go really far out of his base to gather wood. Is Pro Scout's dead? Fairly. I think it's a situational strategy for most civs. Maybe 1 or 2 really still treat it as the backbone solution. But yeah, it's very different now for sure. Pro Scout with Delhi is still nice? Maybe. It's only nice because it's free. It's even, like, I think for Delhi's like one of the biggest benefactors. But yeah, like, most other civs are kind of shrugging. And we do have full cav, by the way. Mongol's now going Keshiks as well because they're up against archers. Swim and switch already in the way from Anno, though. Do not really expect to see many Hospitaller, if any. He might build 1 or 2 to heal up any injured units that survive a battle. But otherwise, it's very difficult to justify this unit. Considering they have lower ranged armor and they're going to be up against Magadai. And they're a slow-moving unit anyway. But in theory, the idea of like 1, maybe 2 isn't terrible. Bit confusing the logos between Khan Hunter and Magadai. Oh yeah, I remember I caught Crackety off of that. I think we were casting EGC event, and I was like, ah yes, the good old Khan Hunter, Khan Magadai symbols. Always so fun to not know which ones are which. And then he just boldly said, no, the one on the left is like Khan Hunter. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's the Khan or something like that. We went through it. He just guessed all of them wrong. I was like, that's a pro level player. He just guessed them all wrong. But yeah, the easy way to look at it, I mean, Magadai basically have the most compact silhouette. And then the Khan is always aiming highest. And then the Khan Hunters are the in-between, right? They have the most arch bow. Because it's kind of the same unit, just at a different angle of look. And then, like, arching the bow differently. That's at least the way I always remember it. Is if you look at them visually, the Magadai is by far the most clustered in the way that they've been drawn and are holding their bow. Or you just wait 1 minute, you can tell by the count here. If he had 6 Khan Hunters, I'd be confused. I think the only player I've seen try to make that work might have been Mister, and that was a bait and switch 2 TC strat. Do you think they should give a slight discount on KT fishing boats to compensate for the nerfs? No. I think Knights Templar is still going to be okay-ish on water, just not insane. And they needed this type of change because the alternative is you drastically nerf the way they gather wood, and thus they lose a big chunk of their unique identity. So, like, you know, the devs had a choice. They either kind of cripple that element into the ground, and then just, like, leave them be to be a certain power level on water, which isn't number 1 anymore, maybe. Or they just generalize the civ. And generalizing is a really boring solution. So, Kurotai now on the way. Louis, not waiting around too long. Anno just blobbing up, though. 20 archers already. I'm not the biggest fan of Kurotai when played like this. It's with full cav. The problem with full cav Kurotai is it's very difficult to get your army to stay with the Kurotai. Like, your cavalry is so fast, they want to move ahead of it a lot of the time. As Anno running out of resource anytime soon? He's already adding in a few farms. His sheep count's down to 6. The deer's almost ran out. But he's gaining ground now with berries at the back and berries at the front. I think Anatan is fine here. Yeah, like, his position is not untenable. And Louis with this Kurtai, I don't know if this is fast Imperial, but I can't imagine it is. If you're going fast Imp, surely step readout makes a lot more sense. Just because of how quickly it injects the economy to get you there. I guess I get it. Kurtai feels better when you're in Imperial Age. But the problem is getting to Imperial Age and getting initial techs without step readout. It feels almost impossible. Wolves now from Anno. Whoops, we will need to get away from that. Once he's ready to tech, it's not going to take him long, remember. The Knights Templar, they do sacrifice villages to tech up, but the best thing about that is that you get your timings really fast. Only a 45-second wait. What is up, Horstons? You absolute legend. Appreciate the sub, mate. Hope for the first of many to make the genius choice to subscribe to this channel. So they don't have to worry about any of those pesky ads. I swear Twitch is getting more invasive than that. It feels a bit more invasive, weirdly enough. Only channel for you, music to my ears. This is not a safe aura setup, by the way. Louis, I see what the idea is with the men-at-arms. He even went proxy racks. Okay, so that might make it a bit better. I mean, I know he doesn't have the age up yet. He's relying on outposts. He needs to gather the gold. I thought he was going to go Cav, and that was my worry with Kurtai, but Louis is convincing me. Men-at-arms works with this because they don't move fast enough that they end up out of range regularly. Plus, he's got the Deerstone jammed up in there already. And what's up, Ooga Ooga with the Prime sub? Appreciate you. Gotta appreciate a good old-fashioned men-at-arms rush against mass archers. Anno, he has no opportunity to tech up here. He doesn't even have a Steeled Arrow yet. It's on the way, but with Undermesh already researched, it's not going to change the metrics at all. Perfectly done as well. Men-at-arms block down the Spearman. The Keshik just sustains throughout the attacks. And the Kurtai is now moving up, parking up. Louis, on a timing attack from practically no army, able to make the men-at-arms strat work. Damn, that's sick. Double arrow slits now coming in from Anatand. The arrow slits at least register real damage on the men-at-arms. So the problem is going to be this Kurtai, which he's body blocking right now. But it means archers have to stand their ground. MAA club continues. Shift the Kurtai over now. My big worry here is Anatan doesn't have infinite resources in this corner. There's a big risk he runs out. He's already got a lot of inefficiency over here. Look, they're just watching. Yeah, I think you're chopping it right. Yeah, yep. Yeah, that's good enough. Backseat woodcutters. Backseat lumberjacks. Louis finally parks the Kurtai, but the men-at-arms have shrunk in numbers. Then again, that does go for both players. Like, Anatani lost a lot of the spearmen. Louis, I think, did he have a gap? He did. He just started moving out to the berries, I believe. Yes, that munch gap is a big problem. He does have a lot of food influx now. There's going to be 26 villages on berries. He'll start knocking in the back as well. Farms starting to litter in. Anatand, he still needs a way of getting towards castle. Excuse me, you don't know the browser you want to use if you're worried about ads and avoiding them is good old Opera GX, actually. A browser that supports gamers. They even sponsor us. How about that? Flash coming in again. Men-at-arms do have the healing buff this time as well as the damage. And this looks like Breakpoint. Look at the numbers. They've never been closer. Anatand, it looks like he was starting to save up, but it's not going to work out. Keshik's now riding in. Men-at-arms alongside them. A few spearmen coming out to try and guard against this. The Magadai are going to get target fired by the TC. I think Louis, to complete this, the chef's kiss it, he needs to start finding some worker eliminations. The big challenge, of course, is now getting this Kurtai deep enough. Wait. The outposts are actually slowly defeating the Deerstone. That is important because he needs the Yam to gap close fast. Is he surviving this? The problem for Louis is he knows if he slows down, there's going to be a rush tech up now with the farms. So if he continues on this speed, he's never going to build up critical mass to be really threatening. It's like such a weird position to find yourself in. Wait, what? He's adding in Hospitaller. Okay. We said we'd be surprised if we saw these, but that was when it was Keshik. I guess if you get enough of them, they just tank, and that's all he needs. They've got 2 melee armor. It's not the worst idea in the world. If he has the resources. I mean, the majority gold, and he does have gold gathering now. Yeah, I guess at this stage for Anno, like, part of the problem is wood's going to run out first, and food's going to run out first. Whereas the gold vein has been a struggle to even touch. What an unusual game. He's diving into the Kurotai now, but, I mean, props to him. It's weirdly working. Yeah, Louis. I think this is... I want to say this is almost core to the men-at-arms rush timing. I feel like a lot of the time we're just seeing MAA rushes fail. It's kind of why I get so excited when they come out. I'm like, oh, wow, we never actually see this kick off successfully. I mean, we're in the middle of a heavy cab meta, which is part of the reason most people shift that if they can. But it's just the slowness of it. I mean, look at what he done here. He built forward production. He built triple racks. He had Kurotai buff for a decent amount of fights. Deerstone assisting getting them in. And it still wasn't enough. No, Anno's done it. He's broken him. Army now surging forward. More Hospitaller coming through. This is it. KT2TC able to get it done. Damn, I'm impressed. KT OP on land? I wouldn't say OP, but it seems like they got some more viability behind them. Especially with the Pro Scouts nerf, we have to remember that technically means that the 2TC builds, I don't want to say they're back on the menu, but they are more viable than they've previously been, as I think we're seeing here. We'll have to reset, because remember, Anatan hasn't aged up yet. Start moving back for the moment. I think he's set up quite nicely to follow this up afterwards now. Louis has the foresight to add in Keshiks again. His food income has rocketed up again, by the way. I was a little bit surprised he didn't try to pull towards the fish, actually, with a Gur. It's risky, but I think it's what he would have needed here. My concern is at this stage, Anatan has started to litter in more farms. Actually, no, sorry, he hasn't. I thought he would have by now. He's still on 8. I thought I saw another farm cluster. It's just houses at the back. But he has picked up the deer on the north and the boar as well. Risky against the Keshiks. And right now, it just feels like Louis is bogged down staring in one direction. Castle Age Up just came in from Anatan's. And now we're seeing Templar Bros as well as Crossbowmen to give him every solution required to shut Mongols out. It's a pack up and run. Just minus a few landmarks. Deerstone's already dead. Kurotai down to half HP. More farms now from Anno. By God, I think he's done it. Yeah, there's just no harassment point anymore. Even if there was, it's a 30 worker lead. And what is up, United 44? Smart lad there. No farms to worry about, indeed. Always appreciate people who sub to support the channel. Appreciate all the people tuning in. Got to get there nice and early. After all, it is only game number 2 of this series. We've still got potentially 5 more games afterwards. What an interesting game this has now become. I mean, Mongols definitely isn't S tier. You know, like, it's not like he destroyed Lancaster with Knights Templar. But it's encouraging. It's inspiring to see Knights Templar able to play on a land map without fish. That is something to be praised and I think celebrated. Even if it did require it to be 2 TC. So what does Louis do now? He has got pastures. Like the fact that he's using monastic shrines soon, because he's prepping for this. Just need to still research it though. His relic game is at least looking good. He's got almost 4 relics now. And yes, there are fish on this map. Fish spawn only on the south side of Relic River. wait. Hold on. Okay, that's a huge win if he gets that. That Kurotai, I just read it off as dead. Is he actually going to get it home? It's going to be tight, but it looks like it actually has made it. Which is nothing small to celebrate. That's actually a huge deal. But Louis, please keep it. Run. Keep on shuffling. Don't stop now. The farm spam at this point. Additional clusters coming in. What would Louis need to do to win a fight? I think actually Springles might be one of his best friends. The problem is, like, Anatan's half army range, but, like, what else do you do against 29 speed? I don't know, it just kind of feels like it's an eco game now. And, like, if this is an eco game, you've already lost by a mile. What's interesting as well, now that I think about it, Anatan, I don't think he used Pilgrims this whole game. He was locked out of that option. But hey, don't need Pilgrims, you got 2 TC. Villagers now getting scared off the deer. Be the boar as well at this rate. Divers into the base are at least going to get shot. But I know it was gradually creeping across. It's just turning into more and more map control at this stage. From here, how would you realistically get back? Because like, I know what's in a lot of people's minds is like, what if we just went Karganet? The Karganet would take you 3 minutes to get online. I think in 3 minutes, Anno would already be in pure age. Yeah, he's going for it. And dare I guesstimate maybe some Poland? Yeah. I mean, Poland is still just by far the best option, I think. I thought something would change, but it really doesn't feel like it. Like, what was... Didn't they change... I think they changed the stats slightly on the Schlatsche again, right? But it's just not good. It's not good enough. It's not good enough of a deterrent to stop people doing it. I mean, even if... Here's the other problem. Even if they nerf Schlatsche, all it's going to do is encourage you to build Templar Bros instead. Because Templar Bros still get huge buffs off of this tech. The 10% health increase and 50% charge damage is a big deal for them. I don't think you're killing this landmark, Joyce. We didn't talk about the fact that he went Castile, by the way. Mainly because it kind of didn't matter. Which is weird. If there was a fight around the sacred sites, though, he would have dumped on him. We do have some Genitors, but I just think that's a moot detail. What's cool to think about now, though, is if you're going to go into heavy cavalry for the late game and you do force a fight around a sacred site, a 20% damage buff is huge in the Imperial Age. Hey, what's up, Nick? Appreciate the prime sub, man. Legend. Thank you. So what do you think, guys? Knights Templar or Lanciv? It makes sense. They did use boats to get there, but they wanted to be on land when they were. Louis says not done yet. Looks for a break-in, but the problem is, look at that bar. Elite vet. Plenty of solutions incoming here. Taunt nice to OP in Crucible? Yeah, but we're not in Crucible, so... That's like me sitting here and going, you know, I could actually smash Louis MT in Apex Legends. It's like, wait, we're not on Apex Legends. I could kick Anatan's ass in Battlefield 6. Wait a second. I could beat them both at once in Dirt 2. Wait a second. I mean, props to Louis. He actually has found the prep to go Cargonet. Yeah, but who's better in Imperial? Like, surely it's Knights Templar. With Slash Cavalry? What do you actually have as Mongols that mirrors that at all? I mean, Cargonet does make sense over Stupa. He just doesn't have the economy to justify Stupa. Oh, man. I love the detail on the capes, by the way. We have trims now! Isn't that like a classic MMORPG upgrade? Like, wow, yeah, like, oh, you know what? It's like RuneScape trims. We've trimmed our armor now. Well, what was it? Not Mythic trim. I'm trying to think what it was called. Oh my god, it's been too many years. I can't remember what they're called. Oh. Trim black armor? Yeah. Mithril trim, right? Alright, the trim black armor. It's going to make them relatively tanky. The Kurotai buff, though, for Louis. Should at least give him a good shot at this. And I think Anatan maybe over-ambitious. Yeah, not respecting the Kurotai buff whatsoever. Sure, it's only veteran army, but they fight like elite with this stacked up damage. Anno gets wiped on the push. Louis will not go down that easily. However, economically, he is still completely mismatched. Anno is now starting to inflate that economy in a different way. We have got fortresses coming through, and we've now got a real army coming through. Not these. These. Slasher cavalry now added in. Slasher are very good against the range mass. Melee's a little bit more of a struggle, but just the raw stats allow them to compete anyway. Oh, Keshik raid. We'll get shut down easy enough. Yeah, Slasher, remember, one of the big problems with Slasher is not just the charge damage is really high, their stats are really high. It's the ability as well. A 20% debuff on enemy attack speed is a huge deal. Like, when they're fighting against Keshiks here, just think of the ramifications. That means Keshiks are healing less often. Keshiks are returning damage less often. And it balances out the fact they have weak melee armor. Like, I don't know. For me, this unit is weirdly contradictory. And like, yes, it has weak melee armor, but if I'm in melee and I'm debuffing your attack speed by 20%, the fact that I only have 2 melee armor is not as much of a deal breaker as it should be. I feel like having 20% debuff in late game in a melee fight makes me feel like I've got +6 melee armor. Because if you fight against Keshiks, like Keshiks in hyper late game, you know, they're going to elite up. They go up to, I think, it's 23 damage. So I'm essentially removing 4.6 damage from your attacks in a way. Right. That's a lot. Then all of a sudden, I'm essentially Keshik's level of armor, but I still have the ranged armor advantage. It's wild. Like, this unit, it's still not... It doesn't make sense. You know, it really hit me just how much it didn't make sense a while ago when we had an Enlightened Horizon game where Dumu was up against Louis, and it was Ottomans versus Knights Templar, and he, like, you wouldn't think you want to go Slatcher against Ottomans. That's crazy. He done it anyway, and it looked ridiculous. Even though he's against the anti-cav civ, he just spammed them. Who wins in a 1v1, Keshik or Slatcher? Slatcher, most definitely Slatcher. I don't see how you lose that fight. Even with the healing, like, it's 210 HP versus 360, and then there's the attack speed debuff. And no, we got Cargonet coming in from Louis. How about Katas? Cataphracts would be in more interesting contests, but I still think the 20% debuff is huge. It's annoying. I don't want to say remove the attack speed debuff because I think it's unique. But I feel like if you don't remove it, this unit is just still too overtuned. Maybe shift more of its damage into bonus versus light, and then you have a balance point. Because the thing is, even if they don't have insane DPS, they're still very tanky, and they last very long because you'll notice I usually talk about a term called effective HP. Effective HP and HP is very different things. You can have a unit that has no armor and HP, and then have a unit that has 8 armor and like half the HP. But that unit can have higher effective HP because if it's being attacked by archers, it's taking no damage. So the problem with Slasher is they have high HP, and then because they decrease enemy attack speed, they have even higher HP. Because they're just not dying as fast. They're not being hit as regularly. That is quite a painful hit. Louis, half of his economy gets caught in the north side gold. I mean, that could actually just be it. Louis doesn't have backup gold options here. No, he's been blocked out of them. Anno with the Knights Templar fortresses to block all gold options now. He doesn't need to butcher them. He just needs to starve them. Louis is going to be stuck on food and wood comp against Mash Slatcher. Not a nice place to be. Kata's won against Slatcher, but it's close. Yeah, but the crazy thing about that is Kata's cost more than Slatcher anyway. So, isn't it Kata, is it 330? These guys are 300. I have a guttural sound. Slasher? Oh, I get tired of this freaking unit. The Polish cav are coming. There we go. We've been through this so many times, and everyone's explanation of how you say Slasher is like, if I'm being bluntly honest, terrible. It doesn't make it easier to pronounce. They make it harder. All right. Looks like the cav is going to get pushed away for now. Louis does have a bigger army. I think Anno, is he maybe overburdened by economy? Not really. He's still got wiggle room to go full. Is it Slactor? I used to say that and got told Slactor was wrong. But this is so wrong. Oh my god. He retreats to the buff. He's getting the 20% increased damage. Biology just came through. Nah, that's it. Cracked his skull wide open with a Warhammer. The details here is kind of ridiculous. The crossbows, the extra range, the Cranoquins, the damage. It's simply too high. Dare I say it, Kingdom of Castile coming in clutch to make that an easy wipe on the army. And turns out Castile better than Kurotai? Nah. I think it's just time to admit that Knights Templars are land civ.